watching the HorrorFam.com podcast. This is my dad, Rob Tharp.
Hey.
You guys might remember him from the Beetlejuice episode and that time that we talked about some of our favorite genre movies. That's what he looks like. The last few times you only heard him, now you can see him.
Okay, you see me?
Okay, well today we're going to talk about Dad's work on Class of 1999. Since season 4 of The Last Drive-In is coming up later this week, we thought it would be fun to revisit Class of 1999, which is the sequel to a movie they showed last season, Class of 1984.
I'm hoping that Joe Bob Briggs breaks out Class of 1999 for at least one of the episodes for this season.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I don't want to dig through my DVDs trying to find it so I can watch it again. I'd rather he showed it.
We got some pictures here. Do you want to talk about it?
These are pictures from behind the scenes from Class of 1999.
And one from Beetlejuice.
And one from Beetlejuice. Okay, anybody who's watching Joe Bob would recognize who this is. This is Pam Grier from a gazillion movies that would appeal to Joe Bob people. And since she was the robot, was she chemistry teacher? Anyway, she was one of the robot teachers in Class of 1999. We had to do fake robot teacher parts for the movie, and my job was painting all the fake robot people.
I have a question. Since Class of 1999 was supposed to come out in 1989, but got pushed back to May 11th of 1990, and you said on the last episode you were on that you were working on these movies a year ahead of time. Does that mean that you were working on it in 1988? Or were you working on it in early 1989 since it was supposed to come out, Halloween-ish for 89? Too long ago?
Well, I don't remember. I'll have to check.
Audible brain fart there.
Yeah. I was either 88 or 89.
Okay.
I just know that they got everything right in that movie.
Everything?
Pretty much.
He means about the year 1999,
yeah? Yeah. Well, you were there, you remember.
Yeah, it was Class of 1999.
Yeah. You had these teachers.
Yeah, basically.
Anybody that ever wanted to see what Pam Grier's looked like with no hair, she looked like that. That's not actually her, that's an incredible simulation. And there she is with hair. There's me with hair. There's my hairbrush peeking into the picture. Zoom in for a close-up on that.
Oh yeah, right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
Painting her eyeball.
Yeah. Put it up there. There.
This is my husband Frank on the camera. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. This is the gym teacher's arm. Gym teacher was Patrick Kilpatrick. He recently ran for governor during the recall election in California, but he didn't make it.
He's still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he didn't make it to be governor. He's still with us.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's Patrick Kilpatrick's fake head, and there's his fake body. We didn't bother with this part because his fake body was going to be wearing clothes, so, I didn't have to go into that much detail. And this is the fake body that gets run down by the school bus. So we did up a fake of him put him in front of the stunt driver for the bus, and the bus plowed our dummy of him over. It would have looked better had he done it himself, but that would have had to been the last shot in the movie. There I am, working on one of his fake heads. I think that's for the part where he stretches his face to show that he's really got robot parts underneath. And there's some of the fake body parts stacked up there. So, those are my pictures. This was back in an era before digital cameras. I never had as many pictures as I would have liked to have had for the stuff that I worked on.
Yeah.
But that was enough to, pretty much represent that I did work on it. That and the check stubs.
Yeah.
So.
And here's something else from when you worked on it.
Oh, okay. This is my collector's item, class of 1999 shop t-shirt. As you can see, it's got a picture of the robot PE teacher, Patrick Kilpatrick, right there, showing his robot face. And that stain there, that's really paint from the actual movie.
Yeah,
that's not
some flesh stains on there.
Yep, that's flesh paint stains. That's not food. Yeah, and that's why you don't wear white shirts at a shop. Rick Stratton, who was in charge of the makeup effects for the show, had these shirts printed for all the shop rats like me that worked on making all the monsters and robots and stuff for the movie. And yeah, that's what we were, shop rats. The guys that got to go to Washington. I think it was filmed in Washington. Did all the stuff on the actual shoot, but we were the ones that were working at All Effects. All Effects was the shop that Eric Allard owned. He and Rick Stratton teamed up for quite a few projects, and Eric would handle all the robotic type stuff. His most famous project was probably Short Circuit and Short Circuit 2. The number 5 robot in that was Eric Allard's creation. He was really good with that kind of stuff. Telemetry, robot stuff, where you would wear, he had like a suit that he could put on, and whenever he moved, the robot would do the corresponding action. It was a lot of fun to watch. He also did the Energizer bunnies for the Energizer bunny commercials that were on for years and years. The robot, pink robot that pounds the drum. Yeah, Eric did all those commercials. So you were asking me about funny stories that I would remember from class of 1999, and the two that come to mind were how I was kind of embarrassed to be painting Pam Grier's, yeah. Chest, and then after about the 4th set, or would it be a set?
Yeah, there's 2.
Okay. I was getting really bored, but I was proud of the color match because I had to mix up a special color. And I watched the movie. I couldn't tell what was real and what was Pam, or what was Pam and what was foam rubber.
Yeah.
She had to open up her skin to show acetylene tanks underneath as part of her robot self.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing
You
that I
can
remember,
help me find a new foundation.
yeah, you gotta stay out of the sun. The other thing that I remember was Lisa Nielsen, who's a real talented makeup artist. She did the hair work for the movie, and the guy that played the gym teacher, Kilpatrick, he swore up and down to her that he was gonna have his hair slicked back in the movie. And so when she did the hair work for the robot, she hand punched all the hairs into the robot head, and all the hairs were...
Sorry, explain like the needle that you have to use to do that.
Yeah, every hair is individually punched into the foam rubber with a needle. And the way that you angle the needle to poke the hair in determines which direction the hair goes. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's like
clear as mud? Okay. Anyway, the way that she applied the hair to the robot head was based on his saying that he was going to be wearing his hair slicked back.
Yeah.
And he showed up for the shooting with his Julius Caesar hairdo intact. So she was super disappointed. It looked like she had done, a bad hair work on it, but it wasn't her fault. Yeah.
Let the record show.
Yeah.
It wasn't her fault.
Yeah.
That's not something that could easily be changed either, because
No.
it's like punched into the head.
Yeah, you would have to start over from scratch, and there just wasn't the time to do that.
The time, the money.
So, anyway, she's gone on to other triumphs, and frankly, I don't know whether anybody out there would even realize that it wasn't supposed to be the way that it is in the movie, but we knew, and we were very disappointed. We got over it. We're okay now.
Yeah.
So, there's probably other stories, but I'm not going to embarrass the other people involved. Anyway, really talented crew on that. They've all gone on to bigger and better things, and if any of them are watching out here, miss you. So you wanted me to sign the shirt, right?
Oh, well, let's say why. In addition...
Because you asked me?
No, but in addition, we're going to be raffling off these VHS tapes because they seemed like something people who watch The Last Drive-In would enjoy, and...
This one is not Twisted Brain.
Yeah.
This one is The Folks at Red Wolf Inn, under a different title, even. What was the title on this one?
Horror on the Menu or something like
Terror
that?
on the Menu.
Terror on the Menu?
Yeah, something on the menu. Anyway, it's a better movie than Twisted Brain, but I was shocked when I brought this home and found out that I had been given a different movie in that box. It's a nice box, though.
Yeah, whoa.
Hey, what the?
Transport the set.
See? Nice box. Totally different movie inside.
We don't own a VHS player anymore, so hopefully these all still work. And if not, at least they have nice boxes.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of them. Was it several? There's a few of them that have the everyone loves the classic green horror sticker that used to come on rentals and previously owned tapes.
My favorite Paul Clemens movie.
You get a couple of those. Oh, my painting.
Oh.
Oh, well, he'll be fine. And so, in addition to all these cool VHS tapes, Dad's giving away his shop T-shirt from
My
class
shop
of
shirt.
1999 with authentic stain. Okay. Anyway, it's been washed, but the stain is still there. We know a lot of people really like those authentic things, and he's about to make a new stain because he's going to sign it for whoever wins it.
I'm going to sign the stain.
It'll be like a nice
Should I just put my name?
background. Sign how you usually sign. You've signed things for fans before.
Okay. Starts with an R. Then they can take this shirt to all the conventions and get everybody else to sign it.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave space on the shirt for other signatures.
But yours will be their favorite.
Hey, that looks like a Q.
And then if anyone doubts that this was really signed by you, they can just refer them to this video and be like, look, that's the guy. He signed it on camera.
He had a lot of trouble with spelling.
His name's only 8 letters total and he's having all sorts of problems.
There. Oh. Right. There it is. Look at that. Signed. On the stain.
That's him.
Okay.
Alright. So, do you have anything else you wanted to say, or?
I really enjoyed this.
Okay, good.
I did.
Well,
We should talk again sometime.
we were planning to talk about your work on the blog and other stuff.
Okay.
I guess that's about it then.
Okay.
So, good luck to whoever enters in the raffle to win this shirt and these tapes. And thank you for watching and or listening to the horrorfam.com podcast.
Thank you.
Bye! This was Rob Tharp. Okay.
Thanks for having me back on your show.
Thank you. Hi, Tina. She was on the show last week.
Want to be on the show again, Tina?